welcome. Yeah, I came in here thinking to myself, man, I look like seasoned chicken. Now, I'm so glad y'all laughed, because this is also like, just to try an experiment. Y'all go home, get some chicken, and when you wash it and put some salt and pepper, don't stop there. Keep going. Get some onion powder, some garlic powder, some paprika, maybe a little turmeric for some color. That's seasoned chicken. That's what this looks like. Yeah. I also wanted to tell the other side story about me working with kids. So, a little bit about me. I'm originally from Houston, Texas.
Whoop whoop, H-Town 281, let's go.
Yes, let's go. It's where Beyonce's from. It's where Patrick Swayze's from. You're welcome, guys. Yeah. My entertaining and my knowledge of entertainment is vast, all right? I know about Patrick Swayze. I know exactly who, what's-his-face, Bob Dylan is. Yeah, I know what I'm doing. Anywho, so I'm a teacher, right? I'm mainly an actor, but I love kids. I love teaching. I also didn't want to really test out whether or not these kids are like any of the kids that I'm about to tell you about. So I'm at work. It's after school. I'm playing basketball with a few kids. And me, I'm the adult that just loves to play tag with your children or your grandchildren or aunts or nieces or any of the ones that are younger than you guys, that you guys are all suddenly looking up at me and thinking, yeah, I got kids that run after me and stuff like that. It's a lot. But anywho, one of these kids actually comes up to me and she's just like, Mr. K, can you lift me up? It's a running test. If you pick up a child, they'll never want to go on the ground again. And I was also kind of busy talking to another kid, helping him with his basketball game. So I hold her up in my arms like she's like an Oscar statue, but then she drops like she's ceramic, on her back. She cries, starts, crying like little crocodile tears. I rush over, get her like an ice pack, and I put my giant jacket from work on her. So she kind of looks like Batman with a bruise. And her mom immediately comes in about 5 minutes after. So she gives me the ice pack back. Her tears have gone away. She feels better and she goes home. I think that's the end of it. Well, the next day, I show up and it's like a James Wan movie. So, if you guys don't know who James Wan is, you guys must have heard of Insidious or La Llorona, those horror movies that are really getting popular now. The guy he directs them. Anyway, it's like a James Wan film, right? So little Kelsey Ann, the girl I accidentally dropped, is in 2nd grade. And the school I was teaching after school had a mix of kindergarten all the way up to 8th grade. And I had come in after school, per usual. So only the 8-year-olds and 7-year-olds in 2nd grade were mean mugging me. They gave me the most ugliest cutting looks that you've ever seen in your life. Okay, think of Stephen King's Children of the Corn. But I ate all the corn, and they have no place to hide. And it's just a bunch of kids who look like they're ready to spit in my pudding as soon as they get a chance. So I wait until I gotta look over study hall, and that's when it happens. And this is how I know I can't mess with kids, so I had to make sure they weren't in the audience, because they will do this. They waited until I sat down thinking I was feeling safe, and they just... Hey, Mr. K, how's it going? How you doing? I'm I'm good. You like comic books, don't you? Yeah, I like comic books. What's going on? Out of the corner of my eye, 2 other kids are sitting right over here, what's his face? Like crows. You know that one movie where that guy I forget the name. It's starting to escape me right now. But he's also a horror film fan. He wrote the movie called Birds. Can somebody help me in the audience? Hitchcock. Thank you so much. See, I told you. I know my entertainers. So, like a Hitchcock film, two children are like sitting on the other side of me while I have little Susie standing right next to me, and she put her arm around me. And she's talking to me about comic books. All of a sudden, just like in another James Wan film that you guys are all familiar with, 3 children rise from the floor right in front of me in the desk, and they just stand there and stare at me for like 5 or 6 seconds. And now by the time I'm fully surrounded, they fully stop and ask me this question. Did you hurt Kelsey Ann? I said, no, it was an accident. Well, Kelsey Ann told us different. So I come to find out through these lovely children that have decided to ambush me that Kelsey Ann waited until she had gone home, told her parents that I not only dropped her, but I was having a bad day, so I decided to stomp on her too.
Oh, no way.
And apparently, the rest of 2nd grade took it upon themselves to remind me that I may be 6'2", but there is 62 of them, and they will put me outside. But yeah, that's how I know not to mess with kids. It's definitely a lesson there. I also like to teach them by like laughing at them. I know it kind of sounds terrible, but follow me on this one. Totally different topic, totally different scene. But I was at a party once, and my ex-girlfriend's nephew comes up to me after I pull out my old iPhone. It's like the iPhone 5C. So it's not like the mini TVs that we can like pull out of our pockets, right? But it's like the really small iPhone. And this kid proceeds to roast me. Says, what are you doing with this phone? Like, it's bigger, your hand is bigger than the phone. Thank you so much. Someone's iPhone clearly knows of those days. This phone is clearly bigger. No, this phone is clearly smaller than your hand. What are you doing? Why don't you upgrade it? What's wrong with your life? Proceeds to make fun of me. And, in grandiose fashion, I'm an adult, right? I pay taxes, so I can take the punches. Until I ask little Miles this question. So, where's your phone? To Miles' answers is, I don't have a phone. And I fall so quiet and I laugh so hard in his face. He had no other idea or any other plan than to like not cry. Because while I'm laughing, I'm just hitting him with, you telling me you're making fun of me for not having a phone? You don't have like your mom's Samsung? I turned to his mom. He doesn't have your Samsung or anything? No, why would he have a phone? Why would he have a phone? And then I proceed to make fun of the fact that he's wearing Skechers.
Dang.
I go in, right? And then Miles suddenly like lights up in his face with this whole idea like, oh, you're not making fun of me because you're a terrible person. He tells me, I see, Uncle Casey, I'm really sorry. And I said, yeah, you should be. Just because I don't have everything doesn't mean that I'm necessarily poor. And it's good practice to not make fun of someone who doesn't have the whole new it thing if you don't even have it yourself to begin with. So yeah, those are kind of the lessons that I run with. Look at this person over here, like, he just feels like this is really terrible, like, yeah, I may have messed up. But either way, I know not to mess with children. I know I have to make sure I kept it clean. Yeah. And I also had to make sure that no kids were gonna like correct me on how gangster they could possibly be. Thank you guys so much for having me. Please remember to season your chicken when you get home. Thank y'all so much.